O-level question as well. Okay. Strategies in managing environments. First of all, is managing your limited land resources. Very all applicable to Singapore. You know that again. It's a Singaporean example because we have very limited land. So what I've done is that we make sure there's careful land planning, catchment areas, and land for waste disposal. 5% to be preserved as nature sites, Sungai Buloh, Bukit Timah Nature Reserve. Primary forest and mangrove swamps. All very geography in it. Pulau Semakau, our land for waste disposal. I think it's burning involved as well. Wildlife and recreation, education, scientific research. All this you can talk about it. It's quite simple. Okay. Point is that can allow for high standard facilities for housing, transport, recreation. Because when you plan properly, you ensure there's enough space for all this. And of course, what you place next to each other. Benefits or what's increased standard of living. Of course, when you plan for nature reserves, you know, housing and stuff, there's the reputation of Singapore as a garden city, which will of course attract foreign talent and tourists to come. The fact that we're so conveniently allocated, our transport is convenient, we have enough recreation facilities, you know, education, so it makes us more competitive. People want to come and live. It matters. I mean, ask you where do you want to migrate to. Would you want to go to, let's say, Ice Pole? Okay, you probably want to because you're a guy and you guys are think that these kind of things are fun. Would you want to migrate to some village, rural village somewhere, or would you want to go to a city that has all the amenities? When we talk about looking for job opportunities, of course, if you're going to retire, you might prefer the village. But my point to you is that having a good living space does attract people to go overseas and work. So I have a friend who's in Ireland, and she's thinking, her husband is in life sciences, and he's thinking of moving on. So they were allowed to choose between, let's say, Japan and Australia, and I think they're more inclined towards it because of the management. Whereas Ireland it's still a bit quiet, very little facilities. To get around, you either have your own car or you have to call for a cab, which is very expensive. Recreation, you know, the swimming pools cost like $5-6 to go swim. I have a friend in New Zealand as well. She tells me the same thing. You know, Singapore, we want 30 or $1 actually. You can go and swim in a public pool, and it's a competition pool, not a small baby pool. Okay. Even transport. You know, some countries I've been to, for transport, you actually have to pay for a cab. I remember when I was doing my exchange in France, I had to pay $80 for a cab to go from my host family to the train station. That's 80 Singapore dollars, 40 euros. It was very painful for me then because I was still a student. So things like that. We want to live in a city where it's clean and green, you know. There's transport, easy transport, we can play, good housing. So it attracts people to come and visit us, or more importantly, live with us, all the skilled workers. And of course, we have to manage our land properly. We don't want to stay next to the waste, land for waste disposal, and we want to make sure that even though we're small, we are still nature still exists. Alright, let's not waste time. So, catchment area land, okay, 5% set aside. So things you should start memorizing. So Pulau Semakau, catchment areas, Bukit Timah Reserve, careful land planning, making sure recreation, education, and scientific research is separated. So the idea is that this will enable us to enjoy a high quality of life, but also attract other people. So this will sustain our competitiveness. Because at the end of the day, we're talking about being competitive. Okay. Right, next, cooperation with regional and international organizations. We try to manage our environment from globalization by engaging in regional and international cooperation. Easy to memorize. Regional ASEAN, okay, on haze, your regional haze action plan, you know this already, okay, sharing information and data about the haze patterns through satellites. International level, global warming with an international agreement to ban the use of substances harmful to the ozone layer. So we have phased out ozone depleting CFCs. So you see, the information overlaps. Okay, ASEAN, what have we done for environment? We've come up with the regional haze action program. And of course, international level, we talk about reducing our CFCs. So it's a repeat of the front part as well. We can manage better because obviously the environment is more than just about Singapore. So when we sign regional agreements, it builds up our relationship with other countries, but also ensures that we develop together. Alright, so transbound haze and global warming, regional, internationals all here. better able to manage, prevent them from affecting our environment, and maintains our reputation as a garden city. Able to manage also builds better relationship. Okay, I've said that before. Increased standard of living, people are more willing to work with countries that they are working already with. Okay, I think nowadays for youngsters, environment does matter a lot for them. Now, of course, the last one, and it's also the easiest to argue, is public education. We are teaching our children to care more, and it's what I just said previously about the environment. So, for example, Clean and Green Week, okay, exhibition, seminars, and of course, the National Environment Council. A big movement is like a Bring Your Own Bag Day. Okay, of course, it hasn't been very popular, but it's getting increasingly popular. So, sponsoring green activities, environmentally friendly products, recycled paper. Now, I remember when I visited my friend in Ireland, she will recycle everything. Every bottle she would wash, she would separate between cardboard, breakables, glass, plastic. I was like, why do you bother? I mean, is it a culture thing? Are you doing because your neighbors are doing it? And then what she told me was that they get charged for their trash. And there's a charge for recyclable trash, and there's a charge for normal waste, like your food waste trash. So it's more expensive, the food waste trash, as compared to the recyclables. So essentially they're forced to recycle, otherwise they have to pay expensive amount to clear out trash. And I was wondering, why doesn't Singapore do that? I mean, I think it's very hard to just say bring your own bag. Most of us don't do that. But of course, like IKEA, IKEA, if you go to IKEA in Singapore, they actually force you to have your own bag, because otherwise how are you going to carry your 20, your shelves, your picture frames, your potted plants? So in that sense, it does kind of force you, okay? But of course, if you just force people to do things, there's no public education, it's not going to work. So let's get back to our point. Our point is that we are educating our youth to actually be aware this is important. Our environment does make a difference to our lives in the future, to our air pollution, our weather patterns, and all that. So the idea is to reduce, reuse, recycle, and in the end, it's a long-term effect. And we're talking about daily strategies, okay? Of course, this will impact us. Now, environmental friendly ways, and these are keywords, ideas that we want to build a sense of responsibility and personal interest. You don't do it because we tell you to do it, you do it because it does affect you and you know that. So public awareness, Clean and Green Week, annual campaigns, your National Environment Agency and supermarkets, okay, or Bring Your Own Bag Day. And a lot of companies are also sponsoring green activities, so they will adopt, like they go to the beach as a company activity and pick up trash. They will have a recycling week, okay, all these procedures. Now, of course, to build up their reputation as well. Okay, it's a friendly thing to do. Public relations. Yeah, it builds up reputation as a friendly towards the environment company. Then people tend to support that. I mean, you realize that products have the word environmentally friendly products, and some people buy these products because they want to help the environment. So again, you talk about education, teaching people to choose environment friendly methods, and there is a market for all these products and for companies to build up their credibility. Okay, so the idea is that you actually need a more cohesive approach, and this in the end, compared to the other two factors, so this is a long-term effectiveness. Your future generation will grow up, and then of course it is important to actually involve the citizens, okay, to actually take ownership of their country as a garden city. So it's not just, if the government just do it, it's not going to be very effective. If the government and the people do it, then we're talking about social progress. So it's not just about attracting people to come to our country, but more importantly that as a country we have a cohesive idea that we want to actually protect our country, develop our environment, so to speak. Okay?